This is a 12.3-inch Android multimedia unit for the BMW F10, and it should be something that brings you happiness, memorable experiences watching Netflix when you should be watching the road and driving. I hope that you don't do that. And it might bring technology, newer technology, to older vehicles and stop you from buying that new expensive car. Before you actually either buy the expensive car or buy a unit like this one, let's give this unit a proper review and decide if it makes sense for your application or not. The unit that we have in front of us, as soon as my power supply stops making that horrible noise, this unit is a 665 Snapdragon 8-core, 8 GB of RAM, 64 GB of storage. And to make sure that we are on the same page, a link will be provided somewhere to guide you to the place where I bought them from, or I bought it from. I know it is AliExpress. It is not as safe and as comfortable as Amazon. You might lose some money because you don't have the same type of protection. However, if you follow some of the ideas that I'm going to share with you, you might be able to source quality products at decent prices from AliExpress. So, the website of the seller. This unit, 8 GB, 64 RAM or ROM, 8 cores, all the special things. I've bought the one that also had the camera. If we look at the general view of the things, 39 units have been sold, 10 reviews, the majority of them are positive. So we shouldn't be getting a product that is officially really bad. Of course, I went and I looked a little bit at the reviews, read them, the people were quite happy, clicked on the buy now product, and less than 4 days or 5 days later, the unit arrives at my door. And it was a surprise. It was a surprise because usually from AliExpress, products take an eternity to arrive somewhere, anywhere, especially in Britain. Okay, the most important bit, whenever you're buying something, especially something expensive from AliExpress, after you receive the product, time is ticking. You have 15 days in which you need to install, test, and make sure that you're happy with your product. After those 15 days, you are kind of on your own. You are at the mercy of the supplier, and usually the suppliers will hang you out to dry, and you are going to lose your money if the products develop a fault, or if the products are proven to be faulty or not the quality that you expect. So, because previously I've done this mistake and my previous unit wasn't really working properly, this time I made sure that this thing doesn't happen. So installed it really fast on my car, was really happy for a few seconds until I started to evaluate the quality of the product. In theory, we should be having one of the best processors, enough RAM and all that other stuff. And also in theory, we should be having Android 12. Okay, based on the fact that you're seeing the unit on my desk and not on my car, you kind of are able to tell the fact that I'm returning this product or I'm not keeping it on my vehicle. I'm not keeping it on my vehicle because first thing first that I've noticed, and I was planning of starting with the positive stuff and continuing with the negative stuff, but I changed my mind. We go straight with the negative stuff. The main thing on this one, the quality of the screen, is something that I'm starting to question. First contact, the cutout of the mask is not accurate. The A and the N are not visible. Okay, maybe something that you could live with or without. But besides that, you're looking at the screen, is very reflective. It gives you a strange feeling, and I'm able to judge this because I've ordered previously another unit that had a much better screen. It still has it, and I'm still running it in my vehicle. This one should be an IPS, but it's strange. It has something that is not really okay with it. Of course, because I'm crazy with these things, I installed all sorts of apps for testing the things. And one of the things that I will try to share with you and see if we are able to properly look at together is the fact that this screen, I'm going on my rant about screens. So this screen has some shadowing at a certain angle. So if you are able to see it, or I don't know how to describe it, light bleeding, or, and we are still perpendicular to the image, but on the left right sides it is doing this little stuff, which for me was quite annoying and was one of the major things that I didn't like about this unit. Okay, screen fail in my opinion. Maybe if you apply a matte screen protector, it will improve it. Some people are not that particular about these things, and maybe it will be able to work for you. After that, these units have a dark secret. All Android, all the units that I interacted with until now have a dark secret. The seller will tell you that they're Android 12, maybe 11, but they are something different. Install an app similar to fake device test, or we also have this one, Castro, and when you open these apps, they will run from some, or they will run through some tests and give you the actual resume, the actual things that these units are actually doing. So resolution is okay, but when we look at the operating system, surprise surprise, we're not running Android 10, we're not running Android 12, we're not running Android 11, we are back in time and we are running Android 10. What does this mean? This means that if you are happy with your product, you bought it from AliExpress, eBay, Amazon, whatever you bought it from, you can ask for a partial refund due to the product being sold as something that it isn't. So consider that when you're doing it. And after that, all sorts of other information can be found regarding your unit. On this specific one, I've done the test with both apps. Both of them confirm that it's still an Android 10. So at this point, it has one fail due to the screen. It has the second fail due to the Android version. And the third one, in my opinion, or the third one for me, was the fact that this was advertised as being something that is able to run Android Auto and CarPlay wirelessly. Apparently doesn't really like Android Auto wirelessly. If I open it, it will show Android Auto in this small format. When I'm connecting it with a cable, it is showing it in the full screen format. So another thing that makes me not want to keep this device. Other things to consider: the majority of these units will require some setting up for you to be able to see the rear view camera, will require you to go in the developer menu to change some of the settings if your buttons don't work properly. My supplier tried to help. The codes that he has supplied with me didn't really work. So I did not even want to spend the time to wait. Following that 15-day rule, if by the first few days I'm not 100% with the product, I'm starting the dispute and I'm sending it back, so that I'm not stuck with another product that doesn't really satisfy all my requirements. Buttons or screen, Android Auto, and this little thing with the settings weren't really on my liking. The things now that I liked the software overall, the responsiveness of it. The software is much more customizable than the previous one that I was running, and my power supply is starting to make a bit of noise trying to keep up with this one. Just to give you some figures, because I'm able to see the power usage, the unit at maximum light intensity is using 13 watt of power, which in my opinion isn't that much, is quite decent. Coming back to this one, the menu, the software is quite easy to customize. It is able to make your life a little bit nicer, or it is allowing you to do the changes to make the software better, or to make your usage a little bit better. It allows you to easily decide on the app that will start each and every time when you power it up. It takes a few seconds for it to be operational, but in the long term it's not a deal breaker. What else? Software was okay. Sound quality straight from the box was quite decent. Image quality with my previous camera has improved, so I'm expecting it with the camera that they shipped for the image quality to be even better. And overall integration in the usefulness in the software bit has improved versus the other software version that I was running before that. Now, other things that I've observed: it is heavier, has a different construction. It is more of a, like the phones, everything clips together. It has a little bit of defects on this little area, but I wouldn't say that is something like a deal breaker. The thing that you need to pay more attention to is that the bracket that goes on the back of this little one, that bracket is not always holding, or it has a bit of wobble on the top two pins, and that wobble will influence or it might introduce some vibration to your screen when you are driving. The unit feels heavier, the unit gets a little bit hotter than the previous one, but overall, if the price is right, might be a product that you want to consider. Now, enough of me ranting about this product. Let me know if you have interacted with such a thing and which products you liked, which products you didn't like. I'm still seeing quite a bit of a challenge with these ones regarding the light intensity adjustment. So these screens might be or might end up being too bright for the car interior, especially during the nighttime. And I'm finding ways of sorting out those little bits. This unit has potential, but in my opinion, at the price that I paid for it, there is still a long way to go. Let me know what you think about it. Maybe you are going to buy such a thing and use that dispute system to get an even better price. I think that the guys will be quite flexible when you prove that the product has some faults in it. This being said, I hope that this video was useful, and I shall be seeing you in another video similar to this one.